talking to the friend first. Bam! Hey, YouTube, it's your girl, Jimmy Pink, and I am here to review the latest episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. And with my rotating schedule, I am able to do a video from the new digs. So, and I'm back to my roots where I can drink and smoke on camera. Turn up. So, let's start with last week's elimination, which was Thorgy Thor. Now, I said it in the last video, but I posted that one late, and since this one's going up fast, and it seems like the closer you post it after Drag Race, the more hits you get. Let me say this. I hate an ungrateful fucking queen. I hate a bitch that say the judges made the wrong decision. I hate a bitch that's salty because they're not winning challenges. What do they call the person that comes in second place? Loser. You didn't win, okay? So, with that being said, we come into the... I never know where to look on this thing. That's why I wear sunglasses when I'm at work. I don't know which I'm supposed to look at. In any case, so Thorgy's message on the wall was straight fucking shade. And her attitude over the past 2 fucking episodes, like on some real shit for me, has completely tainted everything that she did on the show. Like, I just don't even like this bitch no more. I don't. And it's funny because I got to watch AfterBuzz TV this morning and their recap, and one of the panel said the same thing. Like, I think all that her being nice and shit was fake as hell. I think it was disingenuous, and at this point I gotta say I agree, because that was stank. I'm sorry. That pissed me off. So, fuck Thorgy Thor. On to the top 5. So, I said this early on in the season that Chi Chi was going to make top 5. She probably was going to make top 4, and she might make top 3. Bitch know her drag race or what? Do a bitch know her drag race or what? So, we see that the mini challenge is the puppets, because everyone loves puppets. Like, this is one of my favorite little skits on the show. Like, if they pay attention, well, they did learn from, what was that shit? That one season. The season that they didn't have Snatch Game. Even though this should have been the season they didn't have Snatch Game, all tea, all shade. But everyone loves puppets. This starts the war. I do not like what my arms look like. They are so fucking flabby on this camera. This starts the war between Naomi and Brittany. Derrick. Ooh, that wasn't even shade. I just really just started calling the bitch Brittany. Anyway, so they are like at each other, and I'm just like, Naomi Smalls, where's this coming from? Because she was just like, to me, like just this sweet, innocent, like long-legged, beautiful, like deer in the headlights Bambi. But that bitch came for Derrick Berry, and then like when she was in her confessionals, like she was like, it sounds like I'm being harsh towards her. She was like, but nobody is telling her. Like, I'm really trying to be helpful. And let me just say, like, after this episode, like, I'm down for Naomi Smalls. Like, I didn't really care for, now I ain't gonna say I didn't like her. I just didn't care either way. Like, but after this episode, like, we really got to see a lot of Naomi. That also makes me nervous for her going into the next episode, because a lot of times once we get to know queens and they start opening up and we're like, okay, now we get you, is a lot of times when they asses go home. But like, she's very mature. Like, the way she handled her criticisms when the girls were like, I don't really see you as talented, I see you as a model. And she's like, to be a drag queen at this level, period, is a talent. You have to be a makeup artist, you have to be a performer. Like her explanation, I was living. And really, in all honesty, like, I never, like I said, she wasn't like my favorite. Like, I didn't care one way or another, but I never looked at her as she didn't have a talent. I never looked at it like that. So that was crazy, especially when they was talking about like Kim Chi and, oh, but Kim Chi is like a work of art and this and this and this and this. I'm like, okay, but because her drag aesthetic is different and Naomi's is more glam, Kim Chi can't even walk. You know, so that was just crazy to me that they was coming for Naomi, and I think a little of that was kind of like, we are really in the stage, usually, like, especially when you get to like that top 5, you really get to that stage where they are really like, you get that sorority, that sisterly bond, and I kind of think they were just kind of ribbing her almost like a little sister, because like they kind of came for her out of nowhere, like, honestly. And Derrick Berry's just a fucking cunt. Like, I don't care how you edit it. Like, that motherfucker he was the Shade Room. That's why they never motherfucking showed it. Because he was the Shade Room. So let's get into the mini challenge with the puppets. Chi Chi won doing Bob. And she deserved it because that shit was hilarious. When she was like, jokes. And then she was like, well, what do you do if you can't tell jokes? Walk in the club purse first. Bam! I was like, yes, Chi. But also, if Bob the Drag Queen don't come out with a song right after fucking Drag Race with that clap, 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 if he don't come out with a Vogue song, Walk in the Club purse first, I'm gonna be disappointed. Anywho, I just gotta do it one more time. Walk in the club purse first. Bam! I love it. Y'all wasn't supposed to see I had on house shoes. Fuck it, I'm at home. Anywho. So, this is the book ball. Now, y'all running ideas for balls. And I'm gonna keep it 100. Okay, it was the book ball. And this is the time of the year that they always do the ball. So, not a shocker, but the categories outside of them making a couture dress out of books, the other categories didn't have nothing to do with the book. Don't try to play that like, oh, it's autobiographical bullshit. So it was baby drag, which everybody was like, this person was better, this person was better, this person was better. I'm like, they all just had on oversized shirts and oversized shoes. Like, I don't see what was so great about that, any of them. Except for Derrick Berry, who, I'm going to keep it 100. He got a lot of shit for that Little Mermaid. But if it was the story of like how you first wanted to go into drag, and he was like, I wanted to be the Little Mermaid. I get that. I didn't like the execution. Like, but why you got on a full length gown though? Like, why don't you have on like, I don't know, man, but she could have did something else. Like, maybe like a tutu. Because, you know, you put like little babies in like tutus and like the headbands and stuff. Like, maybe she would have did like a teal tutu and like maybe like a crop shirt in the teal or something. Like, the Little Mermaid thing is not what I had the problem with. It was the fact that she had on a full length gown. I'm like, girl, you just had that gown and you made up an excuse that was Little Mermaid. They said that on AfterBuzz TV too, but I was like, girl, I was already there. Because I'm like, how is that baby drag and you got on a full length fucking gown. I don't get it. Oh. Girl, can we talk about them brows? Now, I just recently grew my eyebrows back if they're in the right place. Oh, God. That was not... I understand the judges was asking you for that. Let's just put it like this. It was Derrick's time to go. Because he was not ready to step outside of his comfort zone and do a different type of makeup. His outfits were not up to par for this challenge. Even if he would have did his normal Britney makeup, he'd still been in the bottom. He'd still went home. Period. It was just his time. With this top five, first of all, it was been his time. He should have been gone. But out of these 5 girls and the level of talent that they have, and I'm not discounting him as a Britney impersonator, but you being an impersonator of one person does not make America's Next Drag Superstar. And the comparisons to Chad Michaels, like, you can't avoid them, boo, because Chad Michaels do the same thing you do. But she was doing drag so much more as other people. Well, I understand that's your gig and that's how you get your coin, honey, but you wanted to do this show. You had to know you had to do other things besides Britney Spears, and you wasn't ready for that. You didn't even practice. That was your first time ever blocking out your brow. Like, you wasn't ready. So... I didn't like the baby challenge. Oh, so Jerry Blank and her brother was there because they're authors. Yeah, that was the reason. I think they got who they wanted to judge, and then from there went into this is how we gonna make the categories. I don't see no other way around that. What I would have liked to have seen is I would like to have seen the Wizard of Oz be the ball. I would have liked to have seen that have been the ball with the 3 different looks. That would have been hot. But, anyhow. So, the second look was dressed like your mom. And I gotta tell you, country ass Chi-Chi, I could just see, like, her mother, like, slaying like that. Because, like, they showed the picture of her mom when she was young. And, like, they kind of had the same body silhouette. And Chi-Chi looked just like her mom anyway. I could totally see her mom back in, like, the late 80s going out to the club dressed like that. I could totally see it, like, given... Because that was... I ain't even going to say late 80s. I'm going to say mid-90s when Mary J. Blige... That's when everybody... Little Kim, Mary J. Blige... That's when everybody had the platinum blonde hair girl. And she was wearing wigs back then, too. Oh, that's something I want to say about the baby challenge. I felt like... Because everybody was like... Chi-Chi really didn't look like a baby. But I felt like once we seen what her mom looked like, with the wigs and stuff, when you got that kind of mom, because I have that kind of mom, like my mom is real flashy. Like she don't wear wigs because she has good hair. I'm the only one that wears wigs. But like when you have that flashy person and you're playing dress up, you don't look like a kid. Like, you already got a good wig on your head. You already got some fly shit on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's going to be oversized, but you don't look like a baby. You already got on fly shit. You ain't playing with towels wrapped around your head and shit. Like, you got on fly shit. So, I got that. I feel you, girl, because my mom fresh to death, too, girl. So, she always doing the snap up, so I'm going to do it. So, I felt you on that. I love that. Kimchi. I will say this. I do feel like Kimchi should have won the whole thing because, well, here's the thing. And I'm with Michelle Visage on that. If we are taking into consideration the performance, the Jerry Blank Strangers with Candy theme song, then Chi-Chi should have won. But to me, it didn't feel like that was a part of it at all. That didn't seem like that was even part of the challenge. That seemed like that was the way they was going to get Amy Sedaris there. Because it had nothing to do with the challenge. It wasn't based on a book. It was based on a TV show. It was her character, her most iconic character. It had nothing to do with the challenge. So, I'm just going to go ahead and say that they didn't even count that. The final looks. And unconventional challenges are some of my favorite challenges. Like, even on Project Runway, like I love creative shit. I love creative shit altogether. I love art. And I love making shit out of stuff that nobody would think of. I love it. So, I knew this was Kimchi's Deluxe, like, at least the third, the final one where they had to make the paper. But all in all, outside of Derrick Berry, everybody did a really good job on their costume. I was actually really shocked. Unless they didn't show it, it didn't seem like people were having like a whole bunch of problems with stuff falling off or anything. Let me sip on this tea because, shit. Derrick Berry ass. I think Derrick Berry has delusions of grandeur. Again, I'm not discounting your residency in Vegas as a Britney impersonator. That is amazing. Props to your mama. But in what world? And I'm a craft queen. Okay? Like, a bitch will make fascinators out of paper. Like, make bracelets out of fucking empty fucking masking tape tubes. Like, I do shit like that. But at what point did you look at you putting paper on a corset and said, this is a good enough costume to be in the final 5 on RuPaul's Drag Race? What part of you, and you said you stayed up all night doing that, what part of you thought that that was anywhere near acceptable? Like, let's keep it 100. They all, with the exception of Naomi Smalls, I don't know exactly how she did hers, but I know all of the rest of them glued paper to a corset. Except for Naomi. I don't know if Naomi has something, or maybe hers was like a low-line bra. It couldn't have been. I don't even know how Naomi did hers. It was cute though. But I know for a fact all of the rest of them had paper on the corset. But that's all you did. I'm looking at the edges. I'm like, you rip pages out of magazines and ain't even trim the ends off. Like, you still got it. Like, it looked like it's ripped out the magazines with like them little things on the side. I don't understand. I'm also going to say this. The bottom two was right. The bottom two was right. Bob's downfall, and I liked Bob's look. I really did. I think he looks amazing when he wears his primary colors. He wears them a lot, so that must be his wheelhouse. It looks good with his skin tone because it is, you can't, black people can't wear just any color. Your skin tone has a whole lot to do with what color looks good on you. And he has the skin tone to pull off like the reds and the bright yellows, the blues, the jewel tones. And he can do, you know, the makeup in those colors and it looks really good. My problem with Bob is, and what I think did land Bob ultimately in the bottom two, which he kind of had to be anyway, just based on the runways, but you didn't use no book. Bitch, you tried to pass off cardboard as a book, talking about something, but this is a book. No. Kimchi had a good point in Untucked, where she was like, even if you would have took the cardboard and instead of spray painting it, maybe wrapped like each piece or glued each piece covered in book page, like that might have got you over a little bit better. I don't understand why it had to be such a thick cardboard. Why didn't you use... Nobody else did this. So why wasn't you using the book covers? hey girl, you done with that book? Let me get your cover, let me get your cover, let me get your cover. And then they had, when they brought the books out, they was in order of colors, so if you wanted to do blue and yellow, they had blue and yellow books there. Just cut the covers. So, but I thought her makeup was beautiful. Her makeup and the hair was beautiful. I felt like that was the best I had ever seen Bob look. Honestly, I really did. Like, I would like to see Bob in, like, you know, a full gown. But I see the point of why he doesn't do that. And I also know that Bob is extremely tall. So that would definitely have to be a custom made gown, because that would have to be a lot of fabric for him to have a gown sitting around. Because the way fabric goes, he would have to have so many yards of fabric just for his length. That's not even including any, if it's got, that would just be for, he would have to have so much more fabric than the average person just for a tube dress to go all the way down to the ground, because he's so tall, and that's the amount of yards, that's the length. So I can kind of see that too, because that would probably get expensive, honestly. Like, he probably would need at least 2 more yards of material than even the average drag queen, honestly. Maybe 3, because he's a big giant motherfucker. But I actually ultimately really liked his look. He just, he didn't embrace the material. Like Kim Chi kept saying, he didn't embrace the material. Like, bitch, you used cardboard. You did not use no book. You used cardboard. That was cardboard. That was straight up boxes. So we get to the lip sync. Ooh, Derrick Berry's makeup was scary, y'all. But we get to the lip sync. And it's Bob versus Derrick. RuPaul, and here's my thing that I honestly think, I'm listening to the selection of music they had this year, and I think RuPaul might have been getting shit because he haven't had, the first 2 seasons he had black queens, and I don't think he's had one. Well, Bianca is Hispanic, but I don't think he's had a black queen in like a really long time, and I think that he's getting shit for it, because I'm listening to these songs that he's picking for the lip syncs, and I'm like, that shit came on, and it was Sylvester, You Make Me Feel Mighty Real, which is my shit, by the way. And thanks a lot, fucking RuPaul's Drag Race, because I like used all kind of data last night at work after I watched the episode on the app, and that song was stuck in my head. That I sat there on YouTube and looked it up and listened to it for the rest of the night while I was at work. I was up there cleaning up. You make me feel. I'm like, them people was they was looking past my damn lab and watching me clean. They probably was like, what the fuck? Because I was going in, girl. I was going in. I was feeling my oats, because I was feeling my oats last night, because that is my shit. I forgot about that song. That's my shit. But like, as soon as I heard the song, I'm like, Britney Spears don't do disco. So, Derrick, you might be in trouble. Like, a lot of people said, like, the lip sync that he won against Robbie Turner was just not good. But it was a pop song. Like, you could see Britney Spears singing that song. Like, that could have been a Britney Spears song. This shit, though, and she was doing them damn Britney moves. I'm like, you can't do Britney Spears moves to fucking disco. And I'm like, you didn't even try to do, like, oh, girl, like, it was just time for Derrick to go, bitch, bye. Like, I don't hate her as much, because at least her cuntiness was up front. Thorgy Thor's was sneak attack. And Thorgy Thor is now officially my least favorite queen this season after that shit. Like, I'm just like, you disingenuous bitch. But anywho, So our final four is Bob the Drag Queen, Kim Chi, and the two that nobody thought was going to make it, Naomi Smalls and Chi Chi DeVane. It can go any way. I really don't know who the top three are going to be. I really don't. Because, and I said this in several episodes, and I'm going to say it again. I said Chi Chi was going to make top 5. Probably top 4. And real talk, until Naomi Smalls stepped up, because she fits that category too, in a different kind of way, top 3. I'm like, there's always that queen that come in kind of busted, but is real talented, pays attention to the critiques, and gives the judges what they want and make it to the top 3. It happens every year. It happened every year. So, I'm thinking it's Chi Chi because, like, America loves Chi Chi. Chi Chi is straight up and down my favorite on the show. And I'm starting to see some stuff out of Chi Chi, and I'm like, you say you a cheap queen, but I'm sure, like you said, your drag mother gave you the one dress that you wore for the black and white challenge, and the dress you had on to be your mom was a good look. I mean, it wasn't super, jaw-dropping, but it fit well. She was padded well. Obviously, the dress fit for her pads. It fit her. It went to the ground. So I'm like, bitch, you was trying to get by to save your good shit for as long as you possibly could. That's what motherfuckers ain't getting. And I'm like, that bitch is saving her good shit. Like, she ain't, everything she got ain't cheap. She's saving shit. She's saving shit. She like, I can't blow my wad because if I make it further, I'm definitely gonna get knocked out once we get up here. Bitch is smart. She got some better looking shit, I bet you. I bet money on it. I bet you she got like this one piece. What would be cool though is if she came out in the bodysuit that Naisha bought her. Like, that would be kind of fucking cool. But she's so smart. That's the thing about Chi Chi. And that's the thing about somebody that don't have money. You gotta be smarter than the average bear to get by. She's smart as fuck. And she might not wear it only because Bob already wore something so very similar in the RuCo challenge, which is one of the episodes I didn't review. So she may not wear it because she's smart. And then she may say, okay, they've already seen this, so I can't do this. Or she could sew. She be saying she can't, but wasn't that bitch on the sewing machine this episode? She might not have been able to sew what she wanted for that Dorothy thing for the amount of time that she had. That bitch was on the sewing machine all day. That bitch can sew. She might not be Bianca Del Rio seamstress. That bitch can sew. I ain't buying that shit. Anyway, this is going to sound real crazy. Who I think is not going to make the top 3 is Kim Chi. I kind of feel that way and I kind of don't. Because with the shit that happened the season with Jasmine Masters and Kennedy Davenport and all the racist shit that they got, I don't know if the producers is going to let... It's bad enough the top 4 is all minorities. Ain't no white girls. But I don't know if they're going to let the final 3 be all black. I don't know if that's going to go down. But if they are, in fact, going off of talent and everything, I'm worried about Kim Chi because if Kim Chi has to lip sync and it's not a ballad. Because she's clumsy. She is heavy-footed. She does not walk well in heels. And she has a lisp. So for you to lip sync, if you have a lisp, when you're talking and you're lisping, it looks like what you're saying. But if you're lip syncing to somebody that doesn't have a lisp and you have one, it may come off unnatural or like you're not saying the words properly. And I do feel like she's in her head a little bit, and I do think a lot of that does have to do with the fact that her mother doesn't know. She's lying to her mother. That's hard for anybody. Like, nobody really wants to do that. The reason why people lie to their parents is because they don't want to hurt their parents' feelings, for the most part. And I think that that's hard. That's going to be in the back of her head. And I don't know. It just depends on what the challenge is. But if I just feel like I've seen Naomi lip sync, I've seen Bob lip sync, and I've seen Chi Chi lip sync. And I've never seen Bob lip sync. And she's not that kind of queen. So I think when she goes to perform, she doesn't lip sync. I think if she got a lip sync against any of the other three, she in trouble. She gone. If she has to lip sync against any of the other three, she done. And I really like Kim Chi. I enjoy Kim Chi, and I like her as a person. Oh, this bitch and popcorn. Like, I love the Final Four. I don't want to really see any of them go. And if I had to see any of them go, I would say Naomi. And only because I really just started liking Naomi this episode. Like I said, I never disliked her. I didn't really care. But after this episode, I'm like, yes, girl, you are here. Like, you know, when she won the one challenge, I was like, okay. But then, like this, when she was, like, sticking up for herself and, like, she had a lot more to say this episode. Like, we finally seen some of Naomi. And, like, I'm like, I really like her as a person. Like, I love, you know, how much love she has for her mom. And I'm like, I realize that she is the youngest queen. She's only 21. I think she had mentioned that before, or maybe I'm just thinking that, but this is the longest she's ever been away from her mother. I guess she's the only one that's still at home with her mother, and she's just a mama's girl, and she loves her mother so much. And I like her, but I'm going to say I always liked Bob the drag queen. And I've always liked Kim Chi. And after about 3 or 4, I think after like 3 or 4 episodes, I like Chi Chi. I just started liking Naomi this episode. So I'm going to be fair and say if any of them got to go, I would like to see it be Naomi. But I really don't want none of them to go because I like all 4 of them. And that's never happened. That's never happened to me in Drag Race where I'm like, okay, the final 4, I like all of them. This is the first year that's ever happened for me. So we'll just see. But, oh my God. See, this is why I don't drink and smoke in the videos. This video is the longest one yet, 33 minutes. Well, I might go ahead and post this video as is just to get it up. And then again, I might edit it. I'm off for 2 more days, but, yeah. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Supersized episode. Because it was an hour and a half this time. Supersized episode of my motherfucking RuCap and review. I had more to motherfucking review. Damn it. It was more episodes. So, and I watched Untucked. And After Buzz TV. So I had some other shit to say, damn it. So, walk out the club purse first. Deuces.